Hey, what's going on guys, and welcome back to another episode in my Football Manager series. This is episode number 49, and today we have games against Bournemouth and Roma in the Premier League and the Champions League. Before we play those games today, I'm going to show you how Swansea have been getting on off camera, and also some interesting transfers here with Swansea. So in the last episode, I did say I was going to play through the entire month of January off camera and get the transfer window out of the way. We sold a player in the January transfer window in Michael Franca and also released a random goalkeeper as well. But Franca has indeed gone to Bournemouth for £9 million. Now how about this? Of course, we signed him a year ago in the January transfer window last season for £6 million from Porto. He only played 2 league games for us in his time here and a few cup appearances as well. And he was a decent 4th choice centre-back, don't get me wrong, on pretty low wages too, and only 22 years old, but he turned 23. He didn't look as though he was going to improve either, despite being pretty young. So because of that, Bournemouth came in with £9 million, and I thought, you know what, a quick £3 million profit on a guy who wasn't playing for us, I'll take that right now. So yeah, Frank has gone to Bournemouth, and I'm totally fine with that, as we didn't really need him and make a quick profit. But I did bring in 3 players as well in the January transfer window too, but they are all loan players, and we start with Fatih Demir, a centre-back on loan from Leverkusen, 19 years old, Turkish centre-half, looks pretty decent. He's on loan until the end of the season, only paying 1.6 grand a week of his wages as well. And as a 4th choice centre-back, him replacing Franca, I mean, they're very similar in terms of their ability, so I'll certainly take that deal, and I'm pretty happy with that. And 2 more loan signings as well. Davy Selke, a German striker, 26 years old, comes in on loan from Schalke until the end of the season. We pay 28 grand a week of his wages and also 43 grand a month for him as well. He's 6'4". He gives us a different option up top. We don't really have a tall, physically strong striker in terms of just natural strength, really, and power. So Selke comes in on loan, and again, don't really need him, just like Fatih Demir, but for peace of mind, we'll take him. And again, on loan too, only paying his wages and a little bit of a fee per month. Totally fine with that. But the 3rd loan signing is very, very interesting indeed. This is our final signing of the January transfer window, and Julian Draxler has signed from Real Madrid. Now, how about this? Of course, last season, if you remember, we got Julian Brandt back at Swansea on loan from Real Madrid, just because they've got so much talent, but they don't know what to do with it. They've just got so much, and of course, some players simply do not play. Unfortunately, I wanted to bring back Julian Brandt like last year, but he's currently in the Real Madrid first team, so they weren't going to let him go. But Draxler was on the loan list, so I put in a bid for him, and they said yes, and he agreed to come here as well. So we only paid 27 grand a week and also 95 grand a month as well for his services. Like Selke and like Fatih Demir, truth be told, we don't really need him, but for peace of mind, for cover, and a very decent player as well, I'll certainly take it. I'll certainly take him coming in on loan to really help this side become stronger in depth. So in comes Draxler, and I'm totally fine with that. So 3 signings made then in this transfer window, all coming in on loan, and I must say, I'm pretty happy with the business. Selling Franca for £9 million, who we didn't really need, and then bringing in 3 cover players, all on loan, and paying pretty low wages for them. Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. So the transfer window is done, and although no permanent signings, I'm fine with the guys that are coming until the end of the year, and hopefully they'll help us wrap up our first ever league title with Swansea. Because off camera, I played 8 games and we won all 8 of them as well, which extends our unbeaten streak to 21 games. We haven't lost since the back-to-back against Manchester United way back in October. This is our longest unbeaten run ever with Swansea, and what a season we are having. So I played 8 games off camera, all in January and some in early February as well, 2 in early February. We started with a 3-1 victory over Kidderminster in the FA Cup 3rd round. Then we beat QPR by 2-0 in the Premier League. We then beat Everton by 2-1, and then Brighton by 1-0, then Stoke by 1-0, then the Posh by 2-1 in the FA Cup 4th round. Then we beat Southampton by 2-1, and then Fulham by 2-0, both in the Premier League, which means right now, as you can see, in the FA Cup 5th round, we've been drawn against Fulham, and in the Premier League right now, we are still top of the table, and with 13 games to go, have a 9-point lead over Manchester United, and have a game in hand as well. So what a season we are having with Swansea, and truth be told, at the start of the season, I was definitely of the opinion we should be getting into the top 4 once again, because our side is getting so good now, and our young talent continues to progress. I felt that it might be an outside shot of challenging for the title, but with 13 games to go, to be top of the table by 9 points, I never would have thought that. So, we've got ourselves into this position, and the truth is now, if we don't see out the season as league winners, it will be a massive choke. It'll be an absolutely massive choke, and I don't want that to happen. But still, the squad has got stronger, as you can see. consistency. We're improving all the time. I'm just loving this team right now, and we have such an amazing chance of going all the way in the league and possibly winning the title. So in today's episode, I should say, you'll see the game against Bournemouth, who are relegation threatened right now, and then the first leg of our first knockout round in the Champions League away in Italy against Roma. So here we go then, first game of the episode, we take on Bournemouth. This is the team for the game, sticking with a 4-4-2, but a couple changes in personnel. Right now, Morris is injured. He pulled his, no he didn't, he twisted his ankle in training. He's out for 2 to 3 weeks, and Redmond is currently suspended for the next 2 English games. So this is the team then. Horn starts in goal, back for George, Rakik, Marlon and Chambers in midfield. Sisto on the left, Bentancur on the right and in the middle. Joe Allen and Pep, and up top together, Barbosa and Esposito. On the bench, Adrian, Vezo, Mayo, Sigurdsson, Lockhead, Draxler, who could make his first appearance for the club today, and Wilson as well. Selke still in the reserves, Demir still in the reserves. Both of these players yet to even feature on the bench yet, but they're still here for peace of mind, like Draxler, and we're still happy to have them here. So here we go then, first game of the episode, we take on Bournemouth. Can we get the win? Let's hope so. Come on, Swansea. And I've just seen that Bournemouth have given the captain's armband to Michael Franca, so he's only been there for a few weeks and already is captain of the Bournemouth side. How about that? But still, as you can see, coming into this game right now, having this game as our game in hand, if we do just get a point, we'll extend the gap at the top of the table to double digits, but a win will put us 12 points clear with 12 games to go. What an advantage that will be. And the first chance did come to us as well, but our former goalkeeper Berisha made a very good save there to the nice Sisto, and then Pep's pass is cut out. So still 0-0. You definitely fancy our chances in this game, but I am a little bit nervous, a little bit anxious, don't know why, but hopefully we will put those doubts to one side and get the 3 points. And here's a highlight for us here. Rakik playing it through towards Sisto, down the left-hand side, takes it round 1, and again Berisha denies our Danish winger, and it is still 0-0. Good to get the first couple of chances of the game, but still goalless. Let's try and get an early goal. And we could have done there as well. Marlon's header found Rakik inside the 6-yard box. And I didn't realise that was going to be another highlight there. I took my eyes off the screen, but Rakik headed over from very close range, and it is still 0-0. We've had a good start to this game, but still goalless. And that has been one of our problems this year, creating lots of chances, but not putting the finishing touches on the moves. Still another chance here with Pep finding Bentancur down this right-hand side. Takes it round 1 and finds Callum Chambers here. Space to cross and plays it towards Pep here. Can we get a chance? Joe Allen on the ball. Plays that wide towards George in space here himself. The left-back takes it around his man, crosses Barbosa, surely saved by Berisha, but Esposito turns in the rebound, and the Italian stallion takes the lead in the goal-scoring race between Barbosa and Esposito. They both had 16 until that moment. Now Gianluca has the edge with his 17th goal of the season in minute number 16. George, what a piece of skill that was. Crossed the wings to the centre, Barbosa shot well saved by Berisha, but the Albanian can only parry it to Esposito, and we lead by a goal. And so a highlight here just before the half-time whistle as Rakik goes for goal. The near post, Berisha makes the save though and keeps it at just 1-0. This has been another game though where we've dominated in terms of chances and had a lot more of the ball as well, but our finishing hasn't been the best. So we may lead by a goal, but I'm still a little bit worried that Bournemouth could get back in this game and make us rue all our missed chances. So a very, very poor second half. Literally nothing going on until now, with the first highlight coming 5 minutes before time. Esposito on the ball finds Sigurdsson. Can we wrap the points up here late on in the game? Chambers through towards our Uruguayan Bentancur, who skips round 1 and plays it through towards the Italian stallion, who gives it towards Wilson off the bench, and Callum Wilson secures the points. Scoring late, that's what he does, and wrapping up the 3 points for Swansea. The Italian stallion with the assist, giving it to Callum Clutch Wilson off the bench. And I thought Esposito might have been offside when the first ball was played through. I think that's what a couple of Bournemouth players were complaining about, but in the end, doesn't matter. Linesman keeps his flag down, and the points are secured. 2-0 Swansea, and we're getting the victory. So a pretty dull second half, but we don't mind one bit. We get the win by 2-0, and we shall certainly take that. Another game, though, where we had a lot of chances, quite a few clear-cut ones as well, but our finishing wasn't exactly the best. And that is one thing which, to be honest, I don't want to be negative after what has been an incredible season so far, but that's one thing I've been quite frustrated about this year. We've scored 51 goals with the second highest scorers in the league, but we could have had a lot more had our finishing been better. But then again, Barbosa's got 6 16 goals. Esposito's got 17. I mean, we can't be too disappointed, can we? But still, final score 2-0. We get the 3 points. And, Franco will cost us, give us another million. Bournemouth will give another million if Franco hits 10 games. Forgot about that. But anyway, we get the win. That's the most important thing. We are still top of the table. 12 games to go, and we are 12 points clear with a better goal difference record as well. There's still a lot of football to be played, and anything can happen in the Premier League. But surely we can't choke too bad. Surely we won't throw this away. What a season we've had, and hopefully, touch wood, come the end of it, we will celebrate our first ever Premier League title. And so as we come into the second game of today's episode, then we take on Roma here for the Champions League first knockout round, first leg away in Italy. Very excited for this game. Of course, Roma's team, very, very decent indeed. So this could be quite a tough tie for us. Don't get me wrong, we could have faced tougher, but either way, it certainly will not be easy. That is for sure. And of course, after the Juventus game, going away, taking on a side in Italy in the Champions League, not really too optimistic for it, but still on a really good run right now. 22 games unbeaten and also 9 wins in a row. I'll take a draw. I'll take a draw in this game. If we get an away goal though, that's what I would really like to see. So this is the team for the game then, 4-4-2. Haaland starts in goal, back for George, Rakik, Marlon and Chambers in midfield. Sisto on the left, Benzema on the right, and in the middle, Sam Redmond returning and Pep. Up top together, Barbosa and Esposito, and on the bench, Adrian, Vezo, Hugo Mayo, Sigurdsson, Lockhead, Draxler, and Callum Wilson. And also Pereira just got an injury in the under-21 games yesterday. So here we go then. Second game today's episode, we take on Roma away in Italy. Going to be a very tough task for us, but hopefully we'll come through with a big result here and have a very good chance of progressing into the Champions League quarterfinals. So nothing to report really in the first half of the first half. Still goalless. And I wouldn't be against a goalless draw, but I fancy Roma's chances of scoring in the second leg. And of course, if they get that away goal and we don't score here, that'll mean we'll have to score at least twice at the Liberty Stadium. So it's quite a tough tactical dilemma for me, really, because normally I'm all about those away goals. But in this tie, I'm not entirely sure, as it is still 0-0 as we approach the half-time mark. Don't really know what to do in the second half. Might have to change things, might not. I guess I'll have to wait and see. But on cue, here comes the first highlight, and unfortunately for Roma as well, with Gerson on the ball, crossing the ball to the centre, and Marcos Jr. hits the post or bar, I think it might have been, and Horn dives on the rebound. First highlight there, Roma going very close, still 0-0. So first highlight of the second half, and it comes to Roma as well, who look as though they're going to win the game with 14 minutes to go. I changed the tactics to counter, but this isn't a result of a tactical failure. This is a terrible piece of marking from a set piece, across into the centre, and Lucas Digne, the French left-back, somehow sneaked in completely unmarked. Look at that, there's 3 white shirts around him, but he has a free volley on goal, and the left-back makes it 1-0 to Roma. And this is going to be a very bad result for us because we'll be trailing going into the second leg and also not have an away goal either. Poor game. And as we enter stoppage time, it looks as though we are going to taste defeat for the first time in a very long time and lose here away in Italy against Roma. And this is going to be an absolutely terrible result for us because don't get me wrong, going into the second leg, we can overturn this deficit. Don't get me wrong, it's only 1 goal, but we did nothing in this game to show us that we had the ability to score against this side. So Sean O'Driscoll says we should sympathise, but you know what? I'm not going to give them that satisfaction. I'm going to tell them I'm far from pleased with what I just saw from this team. We've motivated a lot of them, other than Gylfi, who came on late. A very disappointing result for us, a very disappointing performance, and we have a lot of work to do going into the second leg. Don't get me wrong, the board only said we had to reach this stage, but I was okay with drawing Roma in this tie. I know they're a good side, but I felt as though we could get through it. But after a performance like that, I mean, a terrible result where we carved out nothing. It's going to be very hard to overcome them in the second leg. Hopefully we'll be able to, but we haven't given ourselves much confidence going into the second leg, that's for sure. But that will end today's episode though in the Football Manager series, guys. So a big thank you for watching. I really hope you have enjoyed it. I shall play 2 games off camera, first Fulham and then Newcastle, and then I'll come back for 2 massive games in the season First, a first versus second clash as we take on Manchester United in the Premier League, and then the second leg of our Champions League first knockout round. So hopefully we'll celebrate two massive results in these two games, but hopefully, really hopefully, we won't see us capitulate and lose them both. But thanks for watching today's episode. Hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then please leave a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I'll see you for the next episode in my Football Manager series very soon.